with me. This is a TikTok mum, and how she's using her kid to get views, and you'll be shocked at the amount of views she actually gets for what she's actually doing. So you can watch this with me whilst I have my food. I thought I'd give you some more content for the day, so you may as well watch what I watch. I like to catch up on crime and documentary stuff all the time, so this is a new one. Enjoy.
Every time someone deletes a post, disables comments, or turns their social media profile onto private, there's still a silent acknowledgement that the internet is a place where bad things happen. Unfortunately, however, those who are the most vulnerable to the dark side of the digital age were never
And I
given
want you
much of a
to
say in the
follow
matter.
You want money or a second?
Spill,
Yep, like it or not, there are
follow
people
our
who have
channel,
attracted a peculiar
and make sure you
viewership
like
for
and
just that
subscribe,
reason.
The New York
because
Times did an investigation
I'm
of
not just
child
using
influencers.
her
They looked
content
at
without
5,000
naming her.
child
So make
accounts
sure you
and
follow her
17 million
channel,
followers
and you can
were
watch
adult
other
men.
And if there's one account that will
streams,
scare any prospective
because I
momfluencers
think
straight,
she's really good at what she does,
the
and
internet
I
is certain
advise you to go and follow her actual YouTube
it's
channel.
Ren Eleanor.
If your
But
children are on social media
so
and
I'm
you
giving
haven't
you
heard
a
a
shout
story about
out
what's going
to
on
follow
with
her
Ren,
channel,
you need to listen up.
Featured in her mom's vlogs, the account's growing
just to keep
popularity
everything
is
above
making
board
many
and legal,
suspicious.
so that nobody thinks I'm actually trying to pass this off as my own.
And
This
whose
is just
followers
watch
make no
along
attempt to hide their
content
true
with me,
colors. But when
and it's already
allegations
on
are
YouTube,
acknowledged,
so I don't see why I can't post it.
with my daughter, and I am committed to making changes when I turn my account comments back on.
and promises for change are not kept, the public is left to wonder, are mom's intentions as innocent as she claims?
And at this point, she's basically just saying, I don't care. I like having a page, I like making money, I don't care.
Or is there something going on here that is far more insidious than anyone wants to imagine?
The conversation needs to shift from this mom is so stupid to this mom is dangerous.
Internet fame. A curse to some, the ultimate achievement to others. But among those both seeking out and avoiding the elusive influencer status, there are some who are, more or less, born into the trade. Take, for example, Ren Eleanor, who at just 4 years old has already more than established her online presence. Unless you consider 17 million TikTok followers and ranking as the third most popular 4-year-old, just ahead of Psalm West on famous birthdays, keeping it low-key. But hey, the kid got an early start. See, Ren was just a newborn when she made her TikTok debut in mid-2019, with a video of her pampered bath routine, footage that has now received over 300,000 views. But of course, Ren's not the one running the account. That would be her mother, Jacqueline. And boy, was this mom-run account a well-oiled machine.
And by the
From
way,
fashion
please do
content
not follow
to
her.
pranks,
Look, they're making the series so that they can't use it.
and your typical mother-daughter hijinks, it was clear that posts from the account weren't random, but carefully crafted to conform to the latest trends. After all, since Ren's father had chosen not to be involved in his daughter's life, Jacqueline was a single mother and Ren her world. So why not monetize that relationship? And so, as Ren's TikTok career led to a feature on CBS's The Greatest At-Home Videos and an appearance on Omaha news station KMTV3 News Now, where the toddler was described as a local TikTok star bringing smiles to millions, it seemed the mother-daughter duo had not only found
Remember, I'm
success,
only doing this so you can get more content, so they get different bits and pieces on my channel.
but with partnerships with brands like Shein and Hippies, had also found a way to cash in on their growing audience.
Ren's mother, Jacqueline, says she started the account as a way to save memories. Now that's changed, adding it's turned into a way to possibly save money.
We'll do like Ren tries different foods, and so when the companies reach out to us and want her to try foods, it's really nice because we already make videos like that.
Unfortunately, however, the more the account leaned into what viewers wanted, the more suspect its content would become. See, March, various online publications reported on a growing controversy involving the mom-run TikTok account that accumulated in a campaign to remove the 4-year-old from the platform. It was also around this time that Ren's name, followed by specific food items such as honey, pickles, and gum, became recommended searches on TikTok. But what did any of this mean? Well, to understand how the backlash got to this point, we'll have to go back to the account's humble beginnings. When Jacqueline first began posting her daughter on TikTok in 2019, the infant's viewership typically stayed in the 100,000 range, which was fine, but far from the work of the internet sensation that stands before us today. Back then, viral posts from the account were rare and seemingly random, as similar posts would often fly under the radar. And even as Ren grew and Jacqueline began to imitate the content fellow mom-run accounts put out, including her child's outfits and outings, Ren's views remained inconsistent. There did, however, appear to be one shortcut to success, if you could stomach it. See, a video that featured Ren's bare leg or footage of the tyke in a kiddie pool hashtagged yellow polka dot bikini or just bikini model all brought in substantial numbers. And while the content these posts included was entirely innocent, it's hard not to question who these specific posts appealed to. It appeared, however, that Jacqueline's primary concern wasn't the type of people that might be watching her daughter's content, but just that there were people watching.
She usually is like on an upward slope gaining followers, but then October came and she just like stopped gaining, and she was like staying the same, but now she's losing followers. Can we please help her?
And it was following this plea that the account's content again made a shift. See, food videos which used to pull meager views for the account were now the mother and daughter's bread and butter, or rather, their pickle and whipped cream, as the viralness of this content seemed just as dependent on suggestively shaped food and substances as it was on mess and reaction.
You wanna try it? Please? You don't want any?
And so, just like that, eating foot-long corn dogs, Costco hot dogs, and similarly large bites became a regular part of Ren's diet, while having products fed to her in a questionable way, and being pushed to levels of discomfort became their own recurring themes in the account's content.
1-year-old tries spicy pickles.
And look at the views she got, 5.7 million, and you wonder why I want to watch TikTok for you people.
Using their favorite feature.
And I want to bloody watch crime stuff because it's what I enjoy, and when I get an editor I will make videos like this, but I don't have an editor yet.
Well, it seemed
I'm only a humble beginning person that's trying to just give you more different videos on my content channel.
That one viewing just wasn't going to be
And then
enough.
after this I'll
In
go
fact,
back on
when
to
it
doing
came to Ren's video
Tomb Raider
pickle,
Part 2. But I thought we could watch this together.
over 44,000 users were in agreement that the footage was rewatch worthy. An upload that featured the toddler eating corn
25
and a
million
corn dog.
views
So
for
viewers
one
that
video,
deserved
man.
100,000 favorites at
25
least.
million
And
views.
a video of Jacqueline placing frozen honey in Ren's face and an upload of the toddler eating a jumbo pickle and a hot dog were respectively met with favorites from almost 400k users. However, it wasn't just the content of the account's videos that had changed. Thumbnails had also began taking a certain format, which often included Ren with an open mouth, a suggestively shaped or sized food item, or even a flash of her diaper. And that meant that even when the videos were perfectly wholesome,
Okay, ready? Squeeze. Now throw it to me. No!
at a quick glance, the thumbnails might suggest otherwise, which again begs the question, who were the millions of people viewing this content? Well, despite any disturbing conclusion that might be drawn,
I can guess.
the long-run account seemed unfazed. In fact,
Man.
it seemed Jacqueline and Ren's content almost invited these viewers in. For example, after the account's emoji challenge that featured a thumbnail of Ren with her mouth open and tongue out did well, it was posted a second time with the same thumbnail. And then there was the element of certain videos that seemed orchestrated. Sometimes this was a carefully timed cut. like in the account's Bomb Pop Taste video, where one popsicle was replaced with two, and then, following another cut, Ren was licking both of them. Other times, this was an uncomfortable look past the camera, most clearly seen in an upload where Ren and another toddler hug and kiss, then both tilt their eyes upwards, possibly towards their director, whose work just won them 12 million likes and almost 500,000 favorites. And even when these videos had a more ad-libbed feel, it seemed the mother had her ways of getting the performance she wanted out of her daughter, whether it was a prop that could be viewed as either part of a harmless prank or carefully crafted special interest content. Right down to the angle that repeatedly exposed her diaper, or stuffing Ren's pants for a humorous or possibly obscene effect.
Nicki Minaj, is that you? Nicki!
Yes, creating what was quickly becoming the account's signature content could be as simple as neglecting to edit out a moment that didn't belong on the internet, such as Ren lifting her leg to dip her foot in a glass of sparkling juice, exposing her diaper in the process, or taking the camera where it didn't belong, for example, the bathtub. And then there was always provoking the child. See, in another post, Jacqueline held out cash and a lollipop for Ren and asked what she'd prefer.
You want money or a sucker?
However, the mother didn't grant Ren's request right away and instead waited for her daughter to say the suggestive word sucker multiple times. Ren's outfits also attracted an audience, especially in a series that compared what Jacqueline dressed her daughter in versus what the grandmother did. The key difference being that the mother dressed Ren as a mini teenager and the grandmother dressed her as a kid. And likely as no surprise, the more revealing the outfit Jacqueline put her daughter in, the greater the favorites. And it wasn't just the way Ren dressed that was mature for her age. She seemed to also possess knowledge that's beyond most coddled toddlers' limited grasps. In one deleted video, Ren showcased this by lifting her shirt and pretending to feed her stuffed kitty. In another upload that's still viewable on the account, Ren was handed a razor and a tampon, both of which she aimed at a questionable area, an upload that received almost 400,000 favorites. Of course, it was possible that this was just evidence of the limited personal space Jacqueline had as a single mother, but did this footage really belong online? Yes, it would be hard to argue that Ren could consent to being on the internet, let alone the direction her content was going. In fact, the toddler was unaware in multiple videos, sleeping as her mother filmed her and panned up her body with the camera, footage that in one case attracted 200,000 favorites. But while this
People are just sick individuals, like the world's falling apart.
Many found the videos
To be honest.
unforgettable, often including Ren. Yet, whether it was filming Ren as she shrieked in the pool, a science experiment that left her crying, or trying spicy sauce that went beyond the toddler's sensitive palate, it's seen the same viewers that enjoyed seeing the toddler asleep, eating certain foods, or dressed in certain outfits, also liked seeing her in distress. And that brings us to July 2022. The first time Ren and her mother were embroiled in controversy.
Oh,
Yes,
and look,
from
it's
BBC
2022,
News to
just
Rolling
when all
Stone,
the other
the
stuff
mother-daughter
was going
duo
on in the
making
world.
headlines for their content, or more so, the online mom-driven movement their videos had started. See, viewers have begun to realize that Ren's fan base, you know, the ones that felt comfortable enough to comment on her videos and duet her content, well, they weren't just fellow mothers and kids, but grown men. And from comments that seemed to euphemize what Ren ate to request for other viewers to hear them out, it was clear the infatuation this group had with the toddler wasn't paternal. In fact, these users made no point in hiding that they liked the toddler's appearance, labeling her as cute, adorable, beautiful, hot even. The comments would only get worse from there, asking about Ren's relationship status and acknowledging her age. Age is just a number, right? She's single? Unfortunately, the situation was no better on Ren's
That
Instagram,
is absolutely
where comments were
horrible to be
focused on her
saying.
appearance. even going so far as to say she's every boy's dream. Yes, users had no issues claiming a sort of ownership over the child. As one plainly stated, "This is mine." Nor were boundaries an obstacle, as these individuals spoke freely about dreams involving the mother and daughter, offered to pay money for phone calls with Ren, and listed the explicit things they wanted to do to the toddler. But it wasn't just comments that had the internet fearing that when it came to the Ren Eleanor account,
Please do not
something was
follow that
seriously
woman's
wrong.
channel.
Suggested TikTok
I hope
searches
she's in
were
prison
another
by the
tip-off
end
for
of this
concerned
video.
mothers, as Ren's
She's just
name was
absolutely a
associated with
horrible woman.
deepfake, tampon, and personal space, as well as balloon in pants, whoopee cushion, fair eats, and more.
Most of them are gone now, but some of them were like Ren scandalous outfits. One that still pops up is Ren Pickle.
And then there were the number of favorites on certain videos compared to others, which seemed to directly correlate with how suggestive the content was.
You don't just save a little child in the bathtub to show someone later, or you know what I'm saying? Like, that is just very unsettling for me.
Yep.
As for the folders these favorited videos wound up in, well, from one TikTok user's investigation, they weren't any less alarming.
It's just little kids just doing little kid things. He has videos saved of a little baby, probably 10 months old, just from the legs down walking. Something that we would see as so innocent. Little kids' feet and hundreds of little girls doing gymnastics.
In what's been dubbed the Ren effect, various parents began erasing content of their children from their public social media accounts, not because their posts were anything other than innocent, but because the intentions of the people who were watching them might be.
I have seen the arguments of, well, I should be allowed to post what I want of my child or let my child dress how they want to because it's not our fault. We shouldn't be sexualizing them. It's the creep's fault, and I agree. But the fact of the matter is they are out there and they are not leaving anytime soon. And it is your job as the parent to protect your child.
Ren's story brought a lot of light to all the sick people in the world, concerned mother Michaela Music told Fox News Digital. So, I decided to remove my own daughter's photos from anyone who is not close family / close friends. My duty as her mother is to protect her from things like this before anything like Ren's situation could happen to my own daughter. However, as the comment section for Ren's account was flooded with call-outs for child exploitation and the hashtag #SaveRenEleanor began to trend, it became clear this movement wasn't just putting Ren's viewers on trial, but the mother herself, Jacqueline. After all, it was Jacqueline who hadn't removed the inappropriate comments on Ren's videos, just like it was Jacqueline who created the content that seemingly catered to what these users wanted to see.
I'm going to use myself as an example. As an adult woman, I'm not going to get on this app and start sucking on a straw, hold a glizzy to my forehead, post a video of myself struggling to eat a hot dog that's twice the size of my head. Why? Because I know that there are creepy men out there and I don't want to give them another reason to come at me.
And just to point also, you do get creepy women out there that are into creepy things, so just don't think it's all against men, because I am a man, and I'm not a bad guy. I just get, I like to watch documentaries on crimes that you might not have heard of, and things like that. That's the only thing I'm guilty of.
It was out there.
Apart from being a bit out there myself.
From Jacqueline was over. On August 5th, 2022, the mother uploaded her official statement to TikTok. In the video, she categorized the past few months as incredibly distressing, given the noble intentions Ren's account was founded on, and according to Jacqueline, still were to that day.
What started out as a hobby to make a digital scrapbook for my daughter Ren grew into an interesting role for me as a single stay-at-home mom. Ren is my #1 priority, and her upbringing and safety are my top job 24 hours a day.
She claimed that after allegedly speaking to law enforcement agencies and the FBI, she was assured that the allegations that Ren's content was on a CP site were false.
Repeating false information over and over will never convert into fact. Doing so is wrongfully smearing my daughter's name and unjustly damaging my reputation.
Still, Jacqueline said she had nothing against the movement the backlash had spawned.
If these false rumors have prompted parents to rethink how they let their kids be involved in social media, that is a good thing.
But while the mother could acknowledge she should have monitored her daughter's comment section more closely, that didn't mean she was going to cave to a little mom shaming.
I look forward to making more videos with my daughter, and I am committed to making changes when I turn my account comments back on. I will filter them to remove offensive comments and report and block accounts as necessary. Online safety precautions that will remain in effect include disabling the ability to download or duet our videos.
And if Jacqueline's TikTok video failed to assign blame, the creator's following Instagram posts made it clear she believed it wasn't her content that was sick, but the minds of her accusers. Since I first started posting my videos in 2019, they have been well received, characterized as lighthearted and innocent. Yet many months later, once the false rumors started, certain community members went back to scrutinize the videos. They found unwarranted fault in every scene, unfairly characterizing activities such as eating fizzy candies, fruits, and vegetables, wearing a swimsuit, and playing with a water balloon as suggestive behavior. Perhaps it's the pickle, popsicle, and corn dog obsessed lewd minds recirculating false accusations that are the problem. Naturally, the mother's response to the situation didn't satisfy her critics. But what else could be done?
Personally, I find it hard to digest, as I'm sure many other parents do, that it sounds like she's going to continue to utilize her child as content, despite knowing what she knows, but there's not much more to say. Therefore, instead of continuing the discussion around this specific account, let's take a moment to reflect on all the other parents across social media who were made aware of this situation and took a minute to pause and reassess their own sharing practices.
As for Jacqueline's vow to put more thought into what she posted,
I'm committed to making changes when I turn my account comments back on.
well, it seemed those changes never came to fruition. After all, Ren's account already had a proven formula for success. The more suggestive the content, the better the views. And so, the signature videos continued to roll out, whether that was a sleeping Ren being filmed from above or an episode of the Mother vs. Grandma dress-up series, where Jacqueline, without fail, dressed her daughter in the more mature ensemble. But as further content uploaded from the account proved, when clothing didn't do the trick, there were other ways to make Ren appear older than she was, whether it was makeup, filters, or language.
I'm gonna let you say one bad word, and you won't get in trouble. But you can't say it ever again. Do you have one? Okay, say it.
And when it came to getting Ren to deliver a response on camera, well, that simply required Jacqueline to ask a question.
Where do babies come from?
Babies grow in the tummy when you get a guy.
Some of which certain viewers might have been seeking a response to themselves.
At what age do you become a grown-up?
But as much as Ren tried to answer her mother's questions, the child's revealing responses,
Who is your favorite person in the whole world?
Grandma!
only prompted more.
If you could be any animal, what would you be?
I'd be a lion or a bug to scare you. Because I want to scare you.
Were these normal sentiments to be expressed by a little girl? Or did Ren's preference for her grandmother and desire to frighten her mother suggest that there was something deeper at play?
Makes you wonder. Make sure that this is also flagged, so make sure you go to bulk.com/ I'm not saying that last word because I don't want to get bloody thinglied. And who's on the naughty list for not in the dishwasher? Which, well, that's true. And if you notice, the thing about the internet is the adverts are getting longer.
Sign up with Reverend. Hey there, we're celebrating 15 minutes.
Well, if there was, it's not like Ren would outright say it, as even when there was only Ren on camera and silence off screen, Jacqueline's presence could be felt, adding to the mystery of what was authentic from the account and what might have been manufactured to the preferences of anonymous viewers at home.
That was delicious.
And that brings us to March 2024. Nearly 2 years after Ren and Jacqueline's first viral reckoning, the mother and daughter duo were again the subject of controversy.
I don't know how she's sleeping at night.
But a lot of y'all
I don't know how she still got the kid under care, if you ask me.
We can see you.
And it is textbook exploitation. Like, who is going to save this child?
The catalyst for this resurgence and backlash was a video the account posted on March 2nd, where Ren chewed a piece of gum and then said, "I swallowed it," followed by,
Okay.
to many viewers, everything from the setup to the lighting and Disney Channel delivery seemed rehearsed. And given the potential associations with the "I swallowed it" soundbite, users theorized that this was purposely made to appeal to certain users, or rather, alleged customers.
I think with all my heart that was custom content that someone bought from her.
Yes, since TikTok stopped paying for videos under 1 minute long in December 2023, viewers questioned how the account was profiting off of its often only second-spanning content. And if some anonymous benefactors were paying for this content, well, that could be the answer, allegedly. Sounds pretty far-fetched, right? Well, maybe not. See, according to a recent New York Times investigation into the world of child influencers, mom-run accounts are known to sell viewers photos of their children, offer exclusive chat options, and even offer up used clothing. However, if this was true, that would mean Jacqueline wasn't just ignorant.
Your baby's always so cute. 17 million followers for a baby? Stop with me.
She would be complicit.
And at this point, she's basically just saying, I don't care. I like having a page. I like making money. I don't care.
Yes, according to her critics, this is why the mother allegedly blocked anyone who called her out, yet allowed inappropriate comments to remain.
Why did I still see those? Why were those people not blocked?
It's the same reason why some argue Jacqueline turned off her comments in the first place. Not to silence inappropriate comments, but to evade accountability.
This is not a situation of us needing to convince this woman that creepy, disgusting people are doing creepy, disgusting things with the content she's posting of her child online. She gets it. This is
You're not allowed to post content with your children online. You're not even allowed to take photographs of your child if they've not got proper clothing on. So such things as like bath time when you used to have loads of bubbles and stuff. Things like that got stopped because it all got classed as abuse. So what the hell is this if this not is abuse? I wonder what the hell they would call it.
Weird ways they're using it, while leaving just enough room for people to be like, you're weird for thinking about that.
In fact, one user claimed a similar approach had been used before by their own mother. According to TikToker Rosalie, growing up in the 80s, their mother had constantly filmed them.
I was born in 1984. My mother was obsessed with recording me. She died before social media and the internet really took off. If I had been born later, I would be Ren Eleanor.
But even with just VHS footage, Rosalie's mother's short films eerily mirrored videos of Ren.
Videos that were taken of me were for an intended purpose. The plausible deniability, the fact that the videos aren't explicit. I've seen in my comments in the last few days, there are people who will deny they can explain it away. That is part of it. A lot of are interested in videos that seem innocent.
Yes, as those who'd been preyed upon as children knew, the materials consumed was often inconspicuous and on social media readily available.
I was victimized by somebody who I have been tracking on social media since I had access to the internet. I watched this man's every move, and let me tell you, he is following accounts like Ren and Jacqueline. This man was arrested for doing bad things to children. He knows that he can't follow the kind of content and accounts that he really wants to follow, because that would get him thrown in prison immediately. So what does he do instead? He follows mommy bloggers. He follows family bloggers. He follows children's photographers. Those are the photos and videos on which he's leaving comments like, oh, so cute. What is she, 3 or 4? That's a fun age.
And this meant, deliberately or not, Jacqueline's choice to broadcast intimate moments of Ren's life to millions had left her vulnerable.
That child is gonna wake up one day and need so much therapy knowing that her videos are so public. To me, it's on the same level of when like girls' videos or photos of themselves in, in indecent ways getting spread. There is the same amount of like non-consent.
As some users pointed out, this was likely the reason there was no content of Ren uploaded to adult websites.
See?
Because it was already plastered on social media thanks to Mommy Dearest.
If we play her ignorance game, what I hear is that she's made a safe space for a very select group of nasty human beings to come onto her TikTok and feel very comfortable there, watching her daughter.
And Jacqueline's previous defense that her viewership was mainly female?
TikTok analytics show that my followers are 76.8% female. That's more than 13 million females, including lots of moms.
Wasn't exactly the claim that she thought it was.
That also means that there are 4 million dudes watching your thing. And don't forget, that's just the analytics she sees. That's not the engagement analytics. If the engagement analytics existed for Ren nowadays, you would likely see that reverse. It'd be like 76.8% males engaging with the content. Not downloading it, not subscribing to it, but just in looking at it.
But if the mother wasn't going to protect Ren after learning about this viewership almost 2 years ago,
A user posting their child thousands of times and getting thousands of comments each time, implying that there are bad people saving the videos that you're posting and continuing to post knowing that is absolutely insane to me.
the internet would.
This mother doesn't want to protect her daughter, so the internet's gonna do it for her. Justice for little Ren.
The question was, how? There was only so much perfect strangers could do, and those resources had already been exhausted.
And a lot of people have contacted CPS, etc., and obviously nothing has come from it. It has been said that the father basically signed over his rights and said, I don't want anything to do with this, or you guys. So I just don't really know at this point, like, who is going to save this child.
TikToker Terrain Michelle, however, had an idea to create a petition to ban Ren's social media profiles across platforms.
This little girl needs to be taken off these social apps, and it's going to take a literal army to get it done.
And while the creator feared her attempt was just a shout into the void, the petition is already closely zeroing in on its goal of 50,000 signatures.
Please
However,
join that
there was a
page
certain
and
group of
sign it
users
for
who would not be
the
amongst that
help
number.
of our young
Jacqueline's
child.
Defense Squad.
Because
Yes,
trust
a
me,
small
I'll
but
be.
mighty, or rather vocal minority of viewers rushed to the mother's defense both back in 2022 and
Nah.
currently in 2024.
You can't
During
get
the
away
initial
with
scandal,
viewing
viewers
and
were
doing what
commenting
she's
on what
doing
Ren wore.
and
One
try and
user
make out
commented,
that
"What
it's
that
not
woman
just
dresses
money
her child
oriented,
in
because it
isn't
is.
anyone's business." And another user added, right? Like a baby or toddler isn't scandalous. It's clothing, and they're a literal baby/toddler. Nothing scandalous about it. As of 2024, this camp's argument remains more or less the same. That being, Jacqueline isn't the problem, viewers are. After all, the challenges and food videos on Ren's account have been done by other creators. So why are viewers only seeing Ren's content? Or, as one user put it, y'all's minds are disgusting, as if y'all haven't seen people try frozen honey. And then, of course, there was the matter of blaming mothers rather than the actual issue, creeps. So you telling me I can't post my child because of sick people? But even those who critiqued Jacqueline for what she posted weren't in agreement with the current allegation floating around the internet that Jacqueline is of the same likeness as those who support CP, a category that various users have argued that the mother doesn't fall into. I'm not really on board with her being a I'm leaning towards more of a sociopathic narcissist or something similar. Her dead fish eyes give me the creeps. She found a way to make so much money and she just doesn't care about the harm coming to her daughter. It sucks. I agree. Her vibe totally gives off more of a I'm doing this for me, I don't care what position I put my daughter in. Just the way she facilitates her videos purposefully and continues despite all the backlash. And as it's being pointed out, damaging allegations like this aren't exactly helpful. Accusing her of being a isn't a light accusation and is very, very harmful. We all want Jack to stop posting her daughter and get a real job, right? Accusing her of being a isn't going to help make that happen. Accusations like this make Jack and her daughter an even bigger target than they are already, which makes Ren more prone to being in a dangerous situation. As for a response from Jacqueline, well, in March, the mother posted and subsequently deleted a message to the haters, where she asked viewers to stop stigmatizing her child and spreading misinformation. In the upload, she compared similar videos to the ones she posted of Eleanor that, while not including children, had received a similar number of favorites. The mother questioned why videos with adults sucking on straws or eating pickles weren't seen as suggestive content, yet videos of her daughter were. She also included a photo of Ren in a sweater and hat that had been favorited upwards of 200,000 times, and sarcastically asked whether the revealing outfit had anything to do with this. But according to experts, it isn't the content of Jacqueline's daughter that's the problem, but the fact that the footage has been uploaded for public consumption. Clinical and forensic psychologist Dr. Leslie Dobson worked with throughout her career and was aware that not only did these individuals frequent mom-run accounts, but that sometimes they didn't stop there.
After they get the images off social media, they take them to other platforms and the dark web, and they have been seen talking about how it is not stimulating enough and they need to go find the little girls in person.
And there was one child's account that, without naming, concerned Dr. Leslie deeply.
More advert stuff. Make sure you follow them. Make sure you follow Prime. Or if I were you, get a Fire TV stick.
Hey, guess what? I just got my free gift from Love Honey, and so can you. Just click on the link, enter your email address, and in minutes you'll get a free gift or voucher. Plus, you'll get exclusive discounts on already discounted items for Black Friday. What are you waiting for?
A wife. Oh, they've redone Twister. That's actually pretty smart. Kinda cool.
If the little girl was doing something innocent, not a lot of saves. If the little girl was doing something that...
As I said, make sure to follow Spill and say that Stix sent you a little small time TikTok channel.
This is the norm.
The reason I'm giving you different content so there's different things for you to stream on when I'm not live.
Million collective male followers, but that the more suggestive their posts, the more engagement they received. During the investigation, the Times also monitored a messaging app where these harmful users expressed their desires openly and sang praises to the parents running these accounts. As one user described the current state of social media, it's like a candy store. And another wrote, God bless Instamoms. But Dr. Leslie was right. Predators weren't always satisfied with just these posts.
That's the problem. It doesn't just stop with images.
In fact, the Times found these users could resort to compliments.
And I'm also showing you these videos so that you can protect your loved ones and your little ones and watch social media, because sometimes it can be a very negative thing, but it can also be a very positive thing, because I'm showing you cases you would never probably have heard of, because I watch crime stuff all the
Parents
time.
know what's happening, social media knows what's happening, and predators know what's happening. Who doesn't? The children.
However, after posting her videos on this subject, Dr. Leslie received an email from a momfluencer.
And I can't be copyright striked or anything because I've gave the woman's name. I've made sure that I've mentioned all the product placements and things.
And the entire world telling you that your account is causing danger? is probably the primary problem.
And while the clinical and forensic psychologist could acknowledge that the child's
And this
entire
already sitting
viewership
on
wasn't the
YouTube,
problem,
so
that
when it's
didn't
on
mean there
YouTube,
wasn't
it's
one.
legally
People favorite
viewable
videos
by
for many
anyone.
reasons, and the majority are not correct. But even if you think there might be one, you are still enabling this behavior and profiting from it.
Former FBI agent Tracy Walter also spoke out, and while she didn't have an issue with people sharing their children online per se, what alarmed her was just how dedicated Jacqueline's social media presence was to her daughter.
It's not about her mom and her mom's lifestyle or anything like that. It is all about a 4-year-old. And I have a significant problem with that because she really can't consent to that.
And more than that, Ren couldn't consent to who was watching her.
You have to remember, when you post pictures of yourself, your children, whomever, anyone has access to that. And that's what's happening here. That includes child.
But since Ren's Instagram has gone private and her TikTok comments have been disabled, has the evidence of the harmful portion of her viewership effectively been scrubbed from social media? Well, not quite. If you're after proof that these individuals still lurk on the far corners of the internet, it's out there. All you have to do is close Ren's account and look, say, anywhere else. Take Pinterest, for example. We searched Ren Eleanor on Pinterest, and the top results include photos of Ren sticking her tongue out or licking a scoop of soft serve ice cream. The images, purely innocent, of course. Their popularity, however, questionable. And then there are the accounts that hoard this type of content. By switching the search function to boards, we've checked to see how easy it is to come across potential suspicious collections. Yes, on profiles that proudly boast that they collect pictures of kids, albums exclusively dedicated to Ren are a common collector's item. And for some who are now consumed with Ren, along with the LeBrant kids and other child influencers, their interest in this content dates back to the days of Mary-Kate and Ashley. However, when it comes to these users, there's no one form their accounts take on. Just take a glimpse into the followers section of any loud and proud Ren fan page on Instagram, and you'll find that just as there are a number of suspicious anonymous profiles, there are also accounts that seem otherwise normal until you scroll a little further into their following and find a disturbing number of children or babies. And while Ren's account may no longer allow comments, fan pages do, giving grown men the perfect outlet to express their darkest desires. These comments are too disturbing to say out loud, but you may pause the video to read them. One phrase that often comes up in these comment sections is, "It's almost time." A line ChatGPT suggested to one Reddit user could be code used by predators to reference how close they are to committing harm against their target. Yes, the internet was full of proof that despite a private Instagram and disabled TikTok comment section, these users were still actively engaging with Ren's content. And that brings us to a request Jacqueline made in her 2022 video in regard to her daughter's content allegedly being taken by predators.
If anyone has real tangible proof, please contact me immediately.
See, according to TikToker Danielle's Advocacy, she had just that.
Will you stop now, Jacqueline Hall? After this brave 13-year-old girl came to me with her story because she was attacked by a man who was using imagery of your daughter to do these things.
In the message, the girl alleged that when she was younger, a man would send her images of Ren and ask her to pretend to be her. I denied every time, the girl claimed. I remember the photos vividly because of how creeped out I was. It was Ren in nothing but overalls. I'm so tired of people thinking Ren is safe when she is not.
Is this enough evidence for you, Jacqueline? Do you finally believe us now? Are you actually concerned for your daughter's safety and well-being?
For many, the mom's inaction to delete Ren's account and take responsibility was answer enough. But while progress might be slow,
So I hope you've enjoyed this watch along. I thought it would just give us something to watch while I had my dinner.
Her Instagram has gone private, her following has taken a hit, and moms across the internet have responded by removing their children from their public social media profiles. Still, more can be done, and according to the battle cries sounding off on social media, that starts with you. So, what's the first measure you can take? Well, it's pretty simple.
Don't tell you I
Don't
never
engage
teach
with
you
content
stuff.
you morally oppose. In fact, don't even look at it.
Here's a way to stop mom-run child accounts. If you swipe out of the TikTok video within 5 seconds, that account is not going to get paid per view. So if you're on TikTok and you're just scrolling through, when you see a kid, swipe away immediately.
Secondly, walk the walk. If you don't agree with children being posted on social media, that means children don't belong on your own public profiles.
It's this simple. Imagine you sit down on a bus next to a stranger. You glance at their phone and you see a folder of photos titled your child's name. They click on the folder and scroll through a bunch of photos and videos of your child. Eating dinner, having a bath, laughing, cuddling their favourite toy. If you're not okay with that, stop giving that person those photos and videos. Stop posting your child online.
And thirdly, think big. After all, sometimes real change is only possible when it's taken to the people at the top.
Because if we don't make systemic change, it's just going to be another kid in 5 years. We need to discuss a bill that is going to protect these children because bills become laws.
And so, with Ren's account still viewable, the internet's crusade marches forward, with or without Jacqueline's approval. In the world of social media, positive intentions are never a match for those seeking to do harm.
I think people forget that there are bonkers people on this app.
So whether you call the Ren Eleanor controversy a case of willful ignorance,
I cannot relate to or begin to understand how a parent can have that knowledge and continue down this route.
or a calculated plot,
The conversation needs to shift from this mom is so stupid to this mom is dangerous.
the only response to an abuse of power is action.
Yeah.
And as the internet continues
There
refusing
you
to
go.
let sleeping babies lie.
Yeah, is that
Thank
all right
you.
for you?
Yeah.
Perfect, thank you.
Are they empty?
No, yeah, these ones are.
Change might be on the horizon.
I have seen time and time and
Thank
time and
you.
time.
Nice and cozy and warm in here, isn't
I'm
it?
just finishing
Not
watching
just
this.
for Ren,
I've
but for
actually
all
got
children.
2 viewers watching it because they agreed with what I was saying. The fact that she's still doing the videos to this day
Digital footprint goes
and
deep.
she's getting money left hand over foot.
Oh, I know.
Thank you for watching and take care.